back to the program. Let's go live to the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Andrew Wallace. He joins us today from Honolulu. Andrew, you're attending the US leadership dialogue there. It comes at an interesting time, just weeks out from the presidential election. Have you been reassured about the state of the alliance, regardless of who wins in the first week of November?
Well, the meeting hasn't started yet, Kieran, but I'm absolutely no doubt that it doesn't matter who's in the Lodge or in the White House. The relationship between Australia and the US is so very critical. It's bigger than any one individual. So I have no doubt that no matter who wins the presidential race in November, that the alliance will be solid and sound.
Let's look at some of the issues dominating the focus in the United States and in Australia, and that is the Middle East. It continues to be. It was a solemn day in Australia and Israel in recent hours, marking October 7. Do you welcome the fact that the government is making it very clear that they support Israel and its right to respond in any way that they need to in terms of defending themselves?
Well, look, I do welcome Mark Butler's comments just last night, but I have to say that I'm sceptical about this newfound revelation on the part of Mark Butler. It was very interesting that the Prime Minister, in his speech, he couldn't bring himself to be talking about the importance of Israel being able to respond to the attacks from Iran. So, look, now the old phrase, nature abhors a vacuum. The anti-Semitism that we've seen in this country over the last 12 months is as a result of the vacuum of leadership in this country. And that was from the get-go. We saw Labor, in particular from Penny Wong, her refusal to travel to the site until January, some 3 months after the event. And then when she got there, she refused to visit the sites of the atrocities. We've seen Australia consistently taking the coward's way out at the UN and either supporting motions that have been put forward condemning Israel or taking the coward's way out and abstaining from them. So, you know, Labor have got form on this. I do welcome Mark Butler's comments, but it is too little, it is too late. In the last 12 months, we have seen this country go down a path of anti-Semitism that I thought I would never, ever see. And I pin that fairly and squarely on the Prime Minister.
So he's copping flack from you and from the former Prime Minister John Howard, among many others on that side. Then you hear the Greens leader, Adam Bandt, he's saying Israel's guilty of genocide and Australia's complicit in that genocide through our support for Israel under the Labor government.
Yeah, look, that doesn't surprise me. It shouldn't surprise anybody that Adam Bandt would come out with these sort of ridiculous comments and statements. The Greens are avowed anti-Israel. They are avowed anti-Semites. The conduct of their own members appearing at rallies condemning Israel. They've been doing it in the Parliament. It shouldn't come as any great surprise, and Anthony Albanese, if he had any courage, any political courage or courage full stop, he would be saying that he'd be condemning Adam Bandt and he would come out and he would refuse to take preferences from the Greens. That's what he should be doing.
In terms of the government's language, I know that you've said that it is a departure, maybe not believed. They've been accused of double-speak by Josh Frydenberg. He was on this program yesterday saying the government's saying on the one hand Israel has a right to defend itself, but then calling for ceasefires and so on. Doesn't this reflect, though, the complexity, the diabolical nature of what we're talking about here, this in some respects, centuries-old divide in the Middle East?
Well, of course, no one's suggesting that the Middle East is an easy fix. But what we have seen over the last 12 months in particular in this country is that vacuum of leadership, which has resulted in a rise and rise of anti-Semitism. If you compare the moral clarity and leadership between Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton came out from the get-go, from day one, and said that Israel is a strong ally of Australia and we support Israel. We support Israel's right to defend itself. But not only do we support Israel's right to defend itself, we support Israel's right to respond to the attacks at that stage that were being brought upon them by Hamas, then Hezbollah, and now Iran. No effective leader would be able to look themselves in the mirror and not being able to respond to defend his or her people. And that's what Israel is doing. It is responding to a threat. More than 180 missiles were fired by Iran just last week.
Yeah.
That sort of conduct can't be left unanswered, because we know that the capabilities of Israel far outweigh those of Hamas and Hezbollah, and that threat has to be responded to.
Andrew Wallace joining us from Honolulu today. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Kieran.